Hi everybody, today I am going to show you how to make this really cute dog toy for your pet. You can hear it as it squishes. It makes some great noise and will be very attractive to your pets. It's a great way to use up some scrap fabric and even a plastic bag. So if you're interested in seeing how I made this fun little toy, keep watching. First I'll tell you the materials that you're going to need are, you need 2 pieces of fabric, a front piece and a back piece, and I've got a piece of flannel here with cute puppy print on it and a piece of I don't know, it's another piece with kind of like a raised texture to it, and it's kind of furry and fun and has a little bit of texture to it, so it's nice. And that's what I'm going to use, and you want them to measure approximately 9 by 11 depending on the pattern that you draft, but that's what works for mine. You'll also need a grocery bag, or one of those plastic bags from a hobby store or something like that. And then as you can see here, I used a few pieces of fabric that I braided together to make a really strong pool, but that's not necessary. You could do the same thing, or use a couple of scrap pieces just sewed into each of the sides. If you want to, you can use as many as you want. Or what I'm going to do in this tutorial, I'm going to show you using just a scrap piece of ribbon, and we'll sew that directly into the sides. So you'll need that. You'll obviously need your normal sewing supplies like straight pins, scissors, and a sewing machine and some thread. So once you've gathered your materials, we'll get started. Okay. To start, what you'll want to do is draft yourself a pattern. This is my pattern, and I have used, I don't know if you can tell, I've used graph paper to make it easier, and I just folded it down the center, and I just drew a basic bone shape, and very simple. You could do a heart or a circle, a square, anything that you find attractive. I think that this is a really good size. I have a Shih Tzu dog, and he is maybe 15 to 17 pounds, and he absolutely loves these toys, and they really do hold up well for him. And if you wanted to make something for a larger dog, I would suggest maybe using a stronger fabric, or even old pair of jeans that you've cut off or something like that. Like denim is really good and stable, and you could layer many layers of fabric to make it stronger, and as many plastic bags as you would want to put in there is perfectly fine also. You could stuff it if you like, or you can buy little squeak toys and put those little squeakers in there, but he is perfectly content with this one. He likes to roll on it and toss it around and pull on it. It's great fun. So anyhow, I find that this 9 by 11 piece of paper works out great for drafting my pattern, so this is my pattern. And you can either, do it on the fold, but I think it's nice to have it big, and that way you can trace it onto your fabric easily, as I will demonstrate. I have pre-cut my fabric for ease, and I will show you. Let me get these things out of my way. So here they are. They're 9 by 11 pieces of fabric, and I'm going to lay them both with the wrong sides together, and I'm going to layer a plastic shopping bag that I'm just going to fold roughly just to get the most out of it. And I'm just going to layer it right in between those pieces of fabric, as I had said. And there we go. So it's really easy, and all you want to do is go ahead and pin the corners of your fabric just to keep anything from shifting. So do that. And then here, I'll just use these pins. Just a couple of the corners is fine. And then what you'll do is you will place your pattern on your fabric, just like that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and trace directly on the right side of the fabric around my pattern. So I'm going to, here we go. So here we go. Just roughly, and I'm using just a regular ink pen since it is just a dog toy, and it'll show up nice, but you can use a disappearing ink if you like, or chalk, but as you'll see, I am going to actually sew directly on the line that I am tracing around and I just feel like this ink doesn't rub off, and it gives me plenty of time to go ahead and sew. And I don't typically, you know, you can absolutely throw this in the wash and dryer if your dog likes to take their toys outside and get them dirty or whatever, but I find that I don't typically wash them, so I don't know. This is just how I prefer to do it. So once you get it all traced out, all you have to do is, you'll see I now have my bone completely traced onto my fabric, and it looks nice. And I probably could have worked hard to maybe play around with the layout so that, you know, I had maybe a cute puppy right in the center or something like that, but it's just a dog toy and it'll be fine. So next what you want to do is with everything layered, so you have your top fabric, your shopping bag, and your bottom fabric, you'll go ahead and pin around your edges so that you don't really have too much shifting while you're pushing this through the machine. And there's no particular way to pin this. It is a dog toy after all, and though we want it to look nice because it is going to be laying around your house and getting lots of use, and your dog's going to be playing with it, and you have company over, and they'll say, oh wow, where'd you get that? And you're going to be like, I made it. It's because I'm awesome. Anyway, so yeah, just roughly pin it in a few places, and once you have done that, you're going to want to go ahead and take your scrap of ribbon or fabric or whatever you chose that you might, and you may choose not to even add that. Like if you don't think that your dog or is going to even want to have something to pull on, it's really not absolutely necessary. And you're just going to tuck it in. I'm probably going to tuck it in right here, just so that there's plenty of it and you can feel for where it is exposed, and then you'll just simply pin that in place so that it doesn't come out, and that's what you will have. You kind of have like a little sandwich. You've got three, you know, your two fabrics, and like I said, if you wanted to layer more, you absolutely just do that, or you know, however you prefer to do it, and you are pretty much ready to sew. So I just used my machine set on a basic straight stitch, and I probably have it at maybe 2.5 to 3 millimeter length stitching, very basic. And as you can see, I hope, I am going to line my needle up to where it sews directly on this line that I drew. Very easy. And that's it. So bear with me and I will go ahead and stitch this up. I like to backstitch pretty generously over the ribbons so that, you know, if you are pulling on this and tugging it, it's durable enough that it can withstand that pulling, and it won't just slide right out of your stitches, and that would be a bummer. There we go. So just gently guiding it along those lines, and it doesn't have to be perfect, just basically staying within your parameters. Go ahead and stitch out. It's nice when you turn those corners, if you leave your needle in the down position, it makes for really easy turning. You could even use a decorative stitch, like a zigzag stitch or something like that. Remove your pins as you go so you don't break your needle. And then I'm going to raise my needle, I'm going to shift it over just a bit right into the center, and I'm going to backstitch again just where I can feel that those ribbons are tucked in so that it's nice and secure. And I think that's about it as far as that goes. And okay, so I'm going to trim my threads so it looks nice and neat. Okay, now what you have is you can see where you have stitched this down and everything is sewn together. So now all you have to do is simply trim right around the edges, just outside, maybe a 1/4 of an inch or so along that traced out line. And you can see on my stitches that they're not perfect. I tried to stay pretty much on the line that I traced, but it really doesn't matter. Most important part is making sure that you have sandwiched all 3 layers, which I have, and I've got this tucked in there nice and secure, and you can see I can really give it some pull. So I'm going to go ahead and trim this out quickly and roughly with trying to, definitely don't want to go over your stitching line, so just definitely pay attention to that. You could even use pinking shears, which would make it like a fun little zigzag edge. But like I was saying, you could even use your machine's, you know, decorative stitches if you wanted to do a zigzag stitch or a nice little blanket stitch, whatever you'd like to do. And that would look nice also. And but I kind of like the look of this. Like once you get it all trimmed out and once they've played with it a few times, it really gets that raggedy, you know, fringed edge to it. And it's cute and fun. But that's totally up to you. When you get to the point where you have your ribbon tucked in, you want to be careful not to just go ahead and go through there because you're gonna chop your ribbon right off. So you have to just take the time to lift it apart from the ribbon and gently trim, or carefully trim, I guess is a more appropriate way to put that. Just to expose that ribbon, and then you do the same, you know, around the back, including that bag that you used. That out of my way, and you can see how it's shaping up pretty nicely. So then now that I've gotten around that ribbon, just easy, go ahead and finish trimming. And there you have it. So it's really easy. I know anybody can do it, even on basic beginner sewing skills. It's really fun. You can make up a ton of them for all of your friends, or if you have friends at the dog park that you like to take your dog on a walk and you run into several people all the time, have these with you and just give them some sometimes. They'll really appreciate it, and the dogs really do love them. I think it's a great way to use up the scraps, as I said in the beginning, and you can do these for small dogs or larger breeds, and it's just a ton of fun. So I hope you enjoyed, and happy sewing. See you next time. Thanks. Bye.